I move we accept the minutes of May 10th.
And second, any additions, deletions, or corrections to the minutes? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Status?
Is that working? There we go. Well, good morning. For the record, Steve Smith, Director of Audits for LBA. Just to give the committee a quick update of ongoing and audits since our last meeting. We issued a report, or not really a report, or more of a letter on the retirement system healthcare subsidy that went out on dated May 23rd. So that went to legislative leadership, and at this point, no further actions happening on that. On the dental examiners.
Does any further action need to be taken?
I think it was really, we just outlined the issues as we saw it, and legislature would have to, there was some clarity, I think, that could be given to the laws, as I recall, the statute. So, but it's really up to the legislature how they wanted to handle it. So, with the Board of Dental Examiners, we've finalized that audit. That will be going to fiscal next Friday. And some of you, if you're server on fiscal, might be getting it today. Just to alert the committee, it's another large report, so you have plenty of holiday reading. It's in excess of 300 pages with appendices. There's 36 observations in total, and I just want to remind the committee that part of the reason why it's a large report is that it does really reach into some of the inner workings of OPLC. So you do have a potential topic that has been brought up before regarding OPLC. I think this report will speak to a lot of the issues that the committee may have had, but there's about 10, I believe, observations that relate to that involve OPLC, and there's at least 3 that are directly to OPLC only. So just to make the committee aware of that. The mental health workforce audit, that's ongoing. We're in the middle of field work. I think maybe we're wrapping up field work middle of next month. And again, because this involves a number of different boards and commissions, once we get into the observation and getting responses from observation, that could be strung out a little bit because of the meeting schedules of those particular boards and committees. Weatherization.
Steve?
Sure, go right ahead.
Before we go on, could we go back to the Board of Dental Examiners?
Mm-hmm.
You had mentioned that there were several write-ups against the OPLC. Is this, do you think, true of other boards, or do you think they're what you've put in the audit is just strictly for the dental?
No, I believe that, and Jay, you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's the structure of OPLC. A lot of the recommendations would feed into other boards and commissions. It's central to what their management structure, their processes, some of the history of what's gone on at OPLC, and obviously directly related to the Board of Dentals, but I think that given what they do, a lot of what we have found will be applicable to and apply to pretty much everything that they do. So, okay.
I heard you. Is there a need for restructure over there, or is it a manpower issue, or is it what? I don't,
I hesitate to get into any detail here because we haven't presented it to fiscal at this point in time. That's when technically the reports become public.
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? So,
right.
but I think there is a variety of those types of things are in there. Yes. So.
Thank you.
On the weatherization assistance, it's a small operation over there. There's really a one-man shop. we did get started, but they had a previously scheduled federal audit that they had to deal with. They also received a lot of new money that they had to kind of work through the process of getting that distributed and controls and everything around that. We also had some turnover on our side, so things are still moving just slowly right now, but I think that they will pick up, and hopefully I think we'll be able to. We have a few observations that we've identified, so maybe February, March timeframe for finalization and a report on that one. On the special education dispute resolution process, we're doing field work. One of the things we wanted to do to get access to users of the dispute resolution process is we needed to obtain email addresses and information from the local school districts. We received a little, I don't say pushback, but a hesitation as to whether they had the authority to do that, to release that information. So we had to work through some federal contacts, and long and short of it is we can do it, and the local school districts can release something like an email address to us so we can reach out and do a survey. It's not considered a student's education record per se. It's just contact information. So that's ongoing. So we're making progress there. And then in terms of the much broader special education audit, now that we're wrapping up dental, we're starting to move on to that. And so we're in the planning stages of that and developing a scope statement. Well, we already have the scope statement approved. And then the only other one that's in our queue is the education freedom account, but that won't occur until fall of 2023, over a year from now. So any questions? That's kind of a quick recap status of our ongoing audits.
Just a
Mhm.
quick question on the education freedom account audit. Looking at 2023, is that because of your workforce or?
I think that was, there was some, when the statute or the bill was being developed, there was some, how much information would be available, because it's a new program, to be able to be assessed and to be able to look. And I think the earliest was fall of 2023 to have something that could be audited, really, as well as enough activity to assess and to look at. So
Go to the table topics.
okay. Really, what we need is we'd like to get at least one topic to move forward with. So these are just the ones that were here, and we also have Representative Smith and Representative McLean here to speak to the Human Rights Commission topic, which they would like the committee to consider.
Okay. One or both of you, tell us what you want.
Do you mind opening? Morning, Mr. Chair. Morning, members of the committee. For the record, my name is Representative McLean, representing Hillsborough 44, which is Manchester and Litchfield. And I was the chair of an interim study committee on the Human Rights Commission. And with me is Representative Marjorie Smith of Durham. And so we had a bill come before us in Judiciary last year, SB 296. The purpose of the bill was pretty straightforward. It wanted to take away the right of removal from the Human Rights Commission to the Superior Courts to the respondents and reserve that right exclusively for the claimants. And constitutionally, legally, that was sound. Only 2 states allow removal by the respondent. The only reason that we held that over for interim study was because if you take away the right of removal, that means those are going to be staying at the Human Rights Commission, and where they had a backlog, we wanted to understand what
Could you
impact that would have.
Expand on that right of removal.
So the right of removal is when you take the case to the Human Rights Commission, the claimant has a choice as to where to take the case. They can go either to the Superior Court or the Human Rights Commission. After 180 days, the claimant may choose to take the case and remove it to the Superior Court. But the respondent, after a finding of probable cause, can also remove the case to the Superior Court. And the reason that the bill was brought forth was they said, look, you've spent all this time, you're come to the 5-yard line, and then you pull it to a different form. It's just not fair, and that is why 48 other states don't allow it, and the Supreme Court has struck it down. If it were challenged here, it would be struck down as well. So constitutionally, we had no issues with the bill. I just wanted to understand the impact of removing the right of removal, how it would impact the workload at the Human Rights Commission. And that really was the major focus of the interim study committee. What we found was that there is a significant backlog at the Human Rights Commission. The statutory requirement is that you basically put people through the process, and there's a 2-year statutory limit. Now, for the 80% of the lifespan of the commission, that statutory limit was 1 year, but 10 years ago, there were cuts to the resources at the commission, and so it was moved out to 2 years in recognition of what those cuts were. But we heard in testimony that not only are we not meeting that 2-year statutory limit, we're going out in cases to 5 years. And as Chairman Gordon, the chair of our committee, said, justice delayed is justice denied. And so when we got in, the Human Rights Commission is unique because there's a huge investigatory arm, and the process really starts when an investigator is assigned. That's not happening on the Human Rights Commission right now for 18 months. So it really is dragging out. They're at a place right now where they are docketing 25 new cases a month, and they're able to get through the 25 cases. So it appears right now that they're achieving a sort of steady state, but with a high turnover rate, what happens is they lose people and the backlog goes up. And the backlog right now is at 300 cases. Okay, and so that backlog is really staying flat, except when they go through more turnover, and then it ratchets up, it never comes down.
So we have a motion on adding this to the queue. Okay. All those in favor? Aye. Okay.
Senator, you didn't even want to hear from it? It's okay.
Did
You
you
did the
want
right thing.
did you want to add? Wait, work with the,
Great. Thank you very much.
okay.
Senator,
Oh.
could I also ask, I know that we've got OPLC and certification as a tabled item, and hearing from what was just said about the Dental Examiners Board, I firmly believe that we need to pursue that. But that's,
Jay, comment on that? Concerned about the tabled item for OPLC.
My name is Jay Henry. You're going to have the report, the dental report. You'll probably be able to get it today. You'll have it for fiscal next week. You'll certainly be able to ask a lot of questions at that meeting. I think as Steve Smith said, it does cover a lot of information, a lot of the topics between the board and the OPLC. And I think it will have a lot of, there's 50 other boards.
right,
So
right.
the same, I think you're gonna find the same issues throughout the whole organization.
If I might.
Sure.
So what you're suggesting is that at this time, we don't take this off the table, but rather, I mean, looking at what you've got going on, this probably wouldn't have, be able to be audited until sometime late next year.
Plus, they're gonna have, I think, 10 observations. They probably need time to address those findings. I mean, some of the observations, some of the recommendations are, will take longer than a couple months to do. They could take
Okay.
a year. So
All right.
they have a bunch of things they're gonna have to work on to begin with. In
Okay.
fact, you may not need to go right back into their right away.
Okay.
If you went back in there, you could find probably more things. Certain, from what I understand, they're very busy with everything they're dealing with.
Okay, that's fine. I accept your position. Thank you.
Thank you. And does somebody want to comment on the certificate of impact?
Turn your mic on.
No. There you go.
How about, okay.
Yep.
You have a letter from Mike Kane to you, the committee, and then Senator Reagan, as chair of this committee, we have a letter for him to sign to go to the fiscal committee. But it's just alerting you that when we have of this National NCSL Program Evaluation Society, that you can submit an audit report that meets various qualifications, in particular that the audit report was a catalyst of change, legislative change, things of that nature. So we thought the Adult Parole Board would be a good candidate, and we've actually, how many years now? 3? We've submitted 3 reports for this award. This one's the 4th. So so just making you aware that we submitted it and they recognize it as meeting all the criteria. So it's kind of one of those benefit or kudos to our staff who put in all the labor and effort in these things to be recognized at a national level. So
Thank you.
So you said that you have a letter for Senator Reagan to sign that
Yes.
will come to fiscal on
yes,
next Friday?
and then this will same thing. You know, we
Okay,
can,
yeah, but different
a-
signature or the same.
I'm sorry. Say,
Who's going to sign this letter that comes to fiscal? Will it be?
Senator Reagan will, because it's coming from the committee to the fiscal committee.
Okay.
Okay, the next meeting will be at the call of the chair. Anything anybody wants to speak to?
And I think we should recognize the senator for his years of service on this committee. And this is probably one of the least exciting committees. Did I say that?
No, I just suited to it because I thought it was exciting.
Oh, okay. All right. So, oh, okay. Audits are never exciting when they say I'm here to help. So I think we all need to recognize his dedication and the things that he's done for the
you.
committee.
Thank you.
Thank you.
So with that, the meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.